My colleague Milan is now joining me on this story. Milan, it was way back on the 10th of December 2020 that Prime Minister had laid the foundation of this new building, and today it is being inaugurated by Om Birla and Jagdeep Dhankar.
Of course, Aishwarya, the earlier event that was a grand one to witness, that was the inauguration of the new Parliament building, and today the flag hoisting that has been done by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar there clearly signifies that this special session that's just going to be tomorrow after the eve today is going to be held first in the old Parliament building, and then of course the auspicious beginning will be done in the new Parliament building, and that was the focus of the government all along, to perhaps look at holding new sessions in the new Parliament building. Of course, much suspense has been floated around about on the special session that has been called for by the government there, and of course, as you saw in the visuals, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar there unfurling the national flag on the Gajadwar of the new Parliament building there, and many of the dignitaries and the ministers of the government are being flanked alongside in this particular event there. And certainly this also caused a bit of a discussion on why Mr. Kharge was not able to attend, and we know that he has said that he was perhaps given an invitation a little later, or perhaps a little later than he could have expected, because he's currently in Hyderabad for the Congress party work. But of course, that being said, it's a day when we realize that the new Parliament building is ready to function as a temple of democracy here, and of course all the other sessions coming forward will be held in the new Parliament building for now. But of course, all eyes on September 18, how things go, first in the new Parliament building and later to shift into from the old Parliament building to shift into the new Parliament building there, Aishwarya.
Right, Milan, the new Parliament building, and this is what Prime Minister also spoke about, the fact that is a part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat.
I do hope that once we enter into the new building, we become a little more responsible. We means the members. There should be less of boycott. There should be more of discussion. You can always get attention.
Milan, one of the things that the Prime Minister has been speaking about is the fact that this new building is a vision and is a part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, and this obviously, he's been speaking about the 75th anniversary of independence, and speaking about the fact that now this new building will truly showcase what India is and what India will become in years to come.
Well, of course, that has been the endeavour of the government with a strong focus on, of course, not India but Bharat now, and especially after the G20 that has been a huge success for the government of India. Everything from there on has always been about how India shows its soft power as well as its political strength, not just in the country but across the world globally. And of course, the new Parliament building has been in the works for quite some time now, with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself overlooking all the kinds of constructions and the situation that led to the launch or the inauguration of the new Parliament building, in time. And of course, with that, I also have, a list of perhaps agendas that could be discussed this time in the businesses of the Parliament, that are being quoted at the moment. And of course, the Post Office Bill 2023 is also being listed in the Lok Sabha business, and the government could also table some new legislation which is being talked about women's reservation quota. But having said that, there is a lot of talk about the clear agenda of the September 18 session that will be held in the Parliament, and all eyes will be on the opposition once again, especially when there has been a stormy back and forth in the last session, which did not see a lot of fruitful business functioning. But this time around, the special session that has been called generated much controversy, in fact, and the agenda that was not clear to the opposition parties earlier. We'll soon find out what kind of businesses will be conducted in the new Parliament building. But as you said, of course, it's an auspicious beginning for the government of India as well. In time, before this year ends, in fact, we could look at the launch of the new Parliament building there, and the new arrival of the kind of business that India wants to conduct politically across the country. Aishwarya.
Right, Milan. You know, one of the things that the opposition has now been speaking about is the Chief Election Commission bill, the CEC bill. That is what the opposition is now training its guns at and saying that they will make sure that they fight whatever the government brings in. They fight the bill that the government will bring in this session. It is already on the paper that the CEC bill, is something that the government will be speaking about. So definitely we will see a stormy from September 18 to the 22nd of September. We will see that it will be the opposition on one side and the ruling party on one side.
सबसे बड़ा संदेश ये है, नई पार्लियामेंट में जो तमाम चित्रण हैं सभी राज्यों से, वो ये दिखाता है.
Milan, one of the things that the opposition has been speaking about is the Chief Election Commission bill, how the panel has been tinkered with. The opposition has already given a call that they will fight the new CEC bill tooth and nail.
Well, Aishwarya, of course, the CEC bill happens to be a bill of contention, of course, and, all those opposing it are also talking about the fact that how, it is detrimental to the process of election holding in the country, which is why there have been several voices coming in from the opposition as well, as you must have heard, but also the civil society members have also spoken about this particular bill and what kind of, discussion that it could generate. But what I see here is, the other businesses that have also been listed along with the Parliament's journey of 75 years, the special session that has been held. Of course, as you said, the Chief Election Commissioner and the other election commissioners appointment bill and the Advocates Amendment Bill 2023, the Press and Registration of Periodicals Bill 2023, which is also going to be very important in terms of, the press as well as, journalists like you and I. And besides that, the Post Office Bill 2023 is also being listed in the Parliament. And as I said earlier, whether or not the Parliament brings forward something on women's reservation and women's quota is also going to be keenly looked at in this particular session. But having said that, it's a movement from the older building, the old Parliament, the structure that has held, its ground throughout as a temple of democracy, to the new Parliament building and the way the Sengol has been installed right inside next to, the chair. And, that being said, the huge event that had taken place for its installation inside the Parliament as well, and what it represents, to the government and as well as to the, country India, and now being called Bharat as well. But having said that, the entire session of the Parliament has been called to say not suddenly, but perhaps the agenda of the session that was supposed to be cleared earlier was not, and that led to quite a flurry in the opposition party members as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Just like Mr. Kharge has not attended today's flag hoisting because of him having other programs, but also because him saying that he was sent the letter late. We'll have to wait and see how the opposition also takes part in the new sessions in the new Parliament building as well, Aishwarya.
Thank you, Milan, my colleague who's standing right outside the new Parliament building, giving us all the things that are happening inside the flag hoisting of the national flag that took place just a couple of minutes ago.